everybody, it's Andrew Gaffney with Retail Touchpoints. I'm joined by Doug Hope. Doug is the show director for RetailX, the exciting new event that we're fortunate and happy to be partnering with you on, a new program. For our viewers out there that haven't sort of seen or gotten the story yet, can you share some background on sort of the vision, how RetailX came about?
Sure. Our company has 3 non-resale trade shows in the retail business. RFID, the largest in the world, Internet Retailer Conference and Expo, and Global Shop. And so we have all the bones of the e-commerce, supply chain, and retail physical design worlds in different places at different times of the year. And the RetailX concept combines those so that a retailer who has a foot in e-commerce and a foot in brick and mortar, or both feet in both sides of the aisle, can go to one show at one time with his team and see the world of retail instead of just half the world.
Right. One of the reasons we're really excited to be partnering with you guys is it really aligns well with what we've been covering and talking about and hearing from our audiences. You know, the retail worlds are converging. It's, omni-channel has been such a hot buzzword, but it's no longer, silos or pure plays of I just do e-commerce. They're starting to open up pop-up shops, and obviously physical stores are trying to digitize more. Is that where you're kind of seeing the show play out as you bring these together?
Yeah, a year ago when we actually presented it to the markets, there were a lot of people who really didn't connect the dots. They didn't see the connectivity, but I think the things that are really driving the awareness and the acceptance and the anticipation of what this event is going to do is we've seen so many e-commerce companies sort of moving into the physical world. Amazon Go is an example of it, as well as their 4-star stores and their bookstores and Whole Foods. And Casper Mattress, which really disrupted the world of mattress retailing, is got a couple hundred stores that they're going in with. Adore Me has got a few hundred stores that they're building out. And their competitors have to be looking at that. And at the same time, we are seeing physical retail stores going more and more into e-commerce, and I think BOPIS is one area where that really comes into play. This year at Holiday, it was up almost 50%, and yet only a third of US retailers have BOPIS. So I think the race is on to blend the e-commerce aspect of BOPIS with physical store, and the other 2/3 of retail is going to have to catch up to that this year.
So you've followed physical store side of the world for a long time and seen how that's evolved. Because of the digital experience becoming more influential, because of things like BOPIS, really the store itself is being shaken up quite a bit. What do you see and expect on that front in the next year or coming years?
I think between apps and loyalty and facial recognition and the reality of real-time analytics that is going to touch on both the associates in the store as well as the shopper devices. I think that's going to be really key, along with some of the smart flooring, smart shelving, even smart lighting that's going to really invade the space and and transform the experience, not only for shoppers, but also for the retailers who have physical stores that are just fulfilling orders that come from the e-commerce side for curbside pickup.
Sure. We've been writing about for 10, 20 years about the store of the future, but in essence it's really here.
Yeah.
And it's really up to retailers to embrace it and figure out how to adapt it to their model.
Yeah, I think maybe 3 years ago the market on the physical side knew that the retail model was going to get disrupted. And they really didn't know exactly what it looked like on the flip side. And I think now the reality is it's a blending of physical and digital. And it's a matter of what you make the priority, what speed you want to go at, and how much you're willing to invest. But the direction is clear about where the market's going. And you're right, you're way ahead of the curve, and we're pleased to be partnering with you to make sure that our audience is aware of what those priorities should be.
Yeah, we're really excited about it. We're really excited to have Doug Stevens as a keynote as well, which we think is going to be a great way to kick off the whole event and address the topics we're talking about. That idea, again, as you've seen the store itself evolve, he talks a lot more about stores really becoming a brand and delivering that, and obviously experience and those factors. What do you see in that regard, and how do you think that'll come alive at the event?
Well, I think that the store as media, it's a different kind of media. It's the shopper's own media that they're holding in their hand is part of it. But Doug's also brought up something that I think is a major trend that we're seeing just begin to catch fire, which is the curated retail experience, where we have digitally native brands that are now getting into the physical space with landlords like Neighborhood Goods and what Simon and JLL are doing in that space as well. And so it gives shoppers the opportunity to see brands they would otherwise not see, and gives the digitally native brands a chance to touch on the shopper, which is going to eventually lead to developing retail permanent space for them.
Great. Well, I really appreciate you walking us through it. For our viewers, it's going to be in Chicago, late June. Great time of year to be there.
It is.
Any other specifics or details you'd share?
Well, there's lots of new sites to see, not just the show, but the largest Starbucks in the world is going to open on Michigan Avenue right before the show. So if you need a cup of coffee, grab it before you head down.
Awesome, and we're really excited. We'll be doing Retail Touchpoints live there as a dedicated conference. Hope you can make it, and really excited for the partnership. Thanks, Doug. Thanks, everybody.